Look, we have the Venice Film Festival happen soon.
Movies.
Movie time.
Movie time.
And obviously we were shrouded with a lot of the protests and stuff like that. So tell us a bit more about it.
All right, so starting off with Venice Film Festival. It began on the 30th of August and it finishes on the 9th of September, which is our filming date today. And it's one of the top 5 film festivals alongside Sundance, Cannes, Berlin, Toronto International Film Festival. And it's what I believe it's going to be the second last major film festival for the year. There was a couple of interesting movies as well. For example, you had Michael Mann's Ferrari, starring Adam Driver. Wes Anderson debuted The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, which is going to be short films that are going to be released on Netflix later this year. And also David Fincher's The Killer, Sofia Coppola's Priscilla, and also Bradley Cooper's Maestro. Quite an interesting selection.
It's very stacked.
That they were able to bring in, considering the state of the strike, for example. So, well, for those who don't know, the strike, which involves the Writers Guild of America, the WGA, and the Screen Actors Guild, this is a strike that's been going on since May the 2nd, when it started off with the writers, who this is an ongoing dispute about getting the right pay for labor. So especially getting residuals from streaming platforms, making sure to combat the rise of AI, especially ChatGPT, in being used which is becoming a threat that will possibly try to replace writers, which is just all kinds of wrong. Trying to think that you can capitalize and make a robot out of human creativity. And it's also just, once again, making fairer pay, because some writers have written on Twitter especially that they can't even get health insurance or even a pension. So, and it's just the fact that CEOs of big companies such as Amazon, Netflix, are just making billions of dollars off of the backs of these writers and creatives. And of course, this extends to actors as well. Like not just like, of course, you would think that big actors such as Adam Driver, Jessica Chastain, that they're making millions of all their movies. But this is also going out to the extras.
It's for everyone, right?
To the smaller actors who are just trying to make it, but are also just as valuable to any production.
And that's the thing that I quite like about both of these actors and the directors that have come out, right, in making use of their platform, considering that they're all in interim deals that allow them the opportunity to be able to promote and support, still work, all of that piece, right? Because it is that perception of just like, but you're a big time actor and you don't need help. And it's like, but no, that's truly the state of like the point of having a union, where you're able to fight for the rights and the just the living right of
for what they make
for all these people.
Because
and
TV and film are so essential to the public, especially like following the pandemic, and so they're rightfully just asking to get what they deserve, to get the right pay. Like, for example, recently, Aaron Paul, who you know from Breaking Bad, he recently revealed he did not get any residuals from Breaking Bad, even though it's one of the top shows you always see in Netflix.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Because I even remember back in the day,
which was only about 10 years ago.
But the big syndication deals that would happen, right? Like, wasn't it Friends was like the tentpole example, where they would get easily a million, if not more. Like, I believe they were paid $1 million, but then it, like, just the ongoing residuals because of it was going everywhere, right?
Yeah, everyone's still watching it years later. But it's amazing that you would think that these film festivals are just would be impacted with the fact of absence of certain actors, for example. But as you mentioned, The reason why people such as Adam Driver, Damien Chazelle, and Jessica Chastain are even able to show up is, well, for starters, the Directors Guild America that Damien Chazelle is part of. They have not gone on strike.
Yeah.
So they're still able to attend. So, for example, that's why with Oppenheimer and Barbie, Greta Gerwig and Christopher Nolan could still show up. Because their guild was not on strike.
My gosh, that's when it was actually happening,
Yes.
right? Because I remember the cast of Oppenheimer were there for the photos, and then the clock strikes, and it's
July
like,
14, yeah.
we can't go anymore.
July 14, that's when the actors went on strike and were not able to be part of press tours. But now the fact that Adam Driver and Jessica Chastain, they could attend because their movies that were created by independent production companies, those production companies were able to get an interim agreement because they had agreed to the conditions that the WGA are hoping for.
Yeah.
And so they are allowed to either continue filming some of the projects they're filming at the moment, or they're able to promote completed projects. So that was what was interesting, where Adam Driver, he said that Neon, the production company of the movie Ferrari, he said in a very, very powerful statement that very powerful statement is, why is it that a small distribution company like Neon and STX can meet the dream demands that the SAG is asking for? This is pre-negotiations. That attend to the Dream SAG's wish list, but a big company like Netflix and Amazon can't. It's a big call out, honestly.
It really distills things down very simply, right? To the haves and the have-nots, those that just want to get a big chunk of the pie, right? And not having to, I guess, recognize the contributions of the people that are actually working for them to pump that content out. What do you reckon, Kev?
I think it's I mean, I've chatted about this with Samit on the pod in earlier episodes. It's just the economics and the distribution make it extremely sort of challenging, because you'd think for Netflix and the streaming sort of sites, there's a lot of development costs as well that they've got to factor in, and all that sort of stuff as well. So I honestly I don't see it going well. My main narrative that I'm really intrigued to understand is, do we really think that the big actors are doing as much as that they can? Because I feel like a redistribution of the income curve can not solve a lot, but is a big part of it. And I can't imagine any of those A-listers saying yes to taking a decent pay cut to redistribute it back to the team there, because some of the figures that you hear for the big actors are jaw dropping. They're decent chunks of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's would you not think that is the tactic that is it the ATMP? Is that
AMPTP?
AMPT? Yeah, that's what
The
they
American
want you.
Motion
That's
Picture
what they want
Television
people to
producers.
think, right? It goes against this whole argument of, it's like the organizations actually need to do better to look after everyone, not just for the front-facing talent. And this is my view of it, and would love to hear your thoughts about it too, Kat. But it's from what I've read, the SAG and the WGA are very specific about what they can and cannot do to support the strike.
Yes.
Right? They've taken that approach of how do I say it? Like the picket fences.
Showing up to support, like with giving food, giving water to all to the writers that are on strike. Even some of the bigger profile people coming in, like Bryan Cranston, Aaron Paul, as I mentioned.
And so they are a bit strong, right? Which is why it's such a big deal for the likes of Adam Driver and for Jessica Chastain to use these platforms and opportunities, because they simply don't have that many opportunities to do that. And I think, look, they can 100% pay for, like, they can take, I guess, a cut, but that's not that's moving away from the actual fight that's being had here, right?
It's tricky.
Yeah.
to serve.
I don't think it's
several
I don't think it's
writers.
very clear cut, which is probably the reason why it's still going on. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting narrative to.
It's just the on-flow impact as well of
follow.
everything else, right? Like, where's our TV shows? But
And the fact that so many movies are being delayed as well,
Yeah.
such as Dune 2 was meant to come out the end of this year.
No one needs to see Dune 2. Come on,
but
let's
that's
keep it
gonna
in.
get spicy.
No one
It's
needs
gonna
to
get
see
good.
Dune
The more
2.
spices and more Zendaya.
Yeah, finally.
More Zendaya. Not just
Finally.
15 minutes or 10 minutes
Yeah.
of it.
I
But
thought Zendaya was mid.
No,
There
no,
we
no,
go.
no.
we're not going down this path. We're not going
Okay, that
down
rabbit
this
hole
path.
we're not going down to. Look, we'll go to the next topic. But again, if you like the chat, if you like the podcast, subscribe to the channel. Your subscriptions help the channel. Like the video, leave a comment below. It helps. Everything helps.